It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
We do not choose to do work for recognition, but work that is worthy of recognition. We dare to find niche solutions to fill the voids within our communities.
CIBC Caribbean wants to reward the unsung heroes in our communities. Do you know someone who's been doing outstanding work in their community or performed an extraordinary act of heroism, bravery, or kindness in the last 12 months? Nominate a hero today. Go to CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more.
Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good morning, Leeward Islands. Good morning, OECS. Good morning, Caribbean. Hey, as a matter of fact, we might as well say good morning to the entire universe, wherever you are, wherever you're listening to WinFM 98.9. Welcome to another edition of Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. It is, boy, time is flying away. The month is flying away. It is already the 22nd. Could you imagine that? Just a little over 1 week left in July. 22nd of July 2026. And we thank you for listening to WinFM 98.9, for making WinFM 98.9 your station of choice. You could have been doing anything, you could have been listening to any other station, but you chose WinFM 98.9. So we really thank you for that. We're hoping that we'll be able to have you for the entire day throughout our entire programming. And we have lots of action. We have voices coming up later. And boy, I guess, as usual, Voices is going to be well-seasoned, various topics, various opinions. And as usual, we're asking you to respect yourselves when you're making your points. Respect the host. And talking about host, I'm going to be going solo today. I won't have Cartensia leading the ship, so I have to be guiding and bobbing and weaving and see us through to the next 2 hours, God's spare. And again, I'm hoping that we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some education. We may have different views. We may have different opinions, but that is okay. I always say, if all of us saw the same thing about everything, the world would be in chaos. It is chaotic already, but that would have made it a little worse, because without that discourse, without that discussion, without that debate, without that, let me say, argument, for a want of a better word, and a softer tone, we exchange views, and you encourage me, and I see something that I didn't see before, thanks to you, and then you might see something that you didn't see before, thanks to the discussions. And, of course, we're going to present some topics locally, regionally, internationally, and you weigh in on that. We're going to keep calls to about 2 minutes, and if no one is on the line at the time, we are going to give you perhaps a little bit longer. And there are a few songs, they stay a little bit longer, etc., etc. But hey, we'll give you that little bit longer. And of course, you're entitled to call back as many times as you want, as many times as possible. And we try to give everybody the opportunity to call in as often as possible, because especially if you want to really hammer a point, remember we're giving you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sometimes we give you a little more, and we want to have everybody sharing it. And just in case you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Island Tea here on winnfm 98.9. Island Tea heard every Monday to Friday, weekdays from 8 to 10. And the numbers to call if you want to make your point, locally 466-0989, 466-0989. Of course, if you're in the Caribbean, it's 1-869-466-0989. In the UK, 033-344-0065, 033-344-0065. In the USA, you call 718-285-6984, 718-285-6984 if you're in the US of A. In Canada, you call 305-921-4619, 305-921-4619, and that will get you onto the program. We'll go live, hear your views, you counter somebody else's views, and of course, we're not going to encourage going forward and backward for a point for a very long time. You make your point, somebody else make theirs. We give you a chance to rebut, as we want to give as many persons as possible an opportunity to tune into the program. At this point, we have to pick up some of our regular listeners, some of our regular callers. And I'll start with Beanie Man, a tall Rasta man up there in Newtown. I saw him yesterday afternoon, and he reminded me that he does listen to the program. Iman up in Newtown as well. Not under the breadfruit tree, but under a tree, skillet tree. I've been passing there for some time and I haven't noticed. They say we have a tendency to look up and down, cross and things, but we don't look up often. So I have to check out if I believe it's a guinea tree, or skinip, as we say colloquially here in St. Kitts. So we have Iman, and who else we have? We have Cleo in the US of A. We have Burl. We have Mr. Mark Mahan, Mr. Welcome. Good morning to you folks. Thanks for listening as usual. We have Gwyneth. She's also listening. Saifoy Philip, a.k.a. Sap. He is from Keys, a career teacher. He spent about a lifetime and a half teaching, and he's now in the USA. Good morning to you. He listens to the program. And Richie Bunting down in St. Croix, he listens as well. And talking about Richie Bunting, I was in a discussion recently, and the late Starshield, who passed last week Friday, I think, and by Saturday morning, Richie Bunting had out a song in commemoration of the life and contribution of the late Walston Shield, King Starshield. And I think that was a tremendous piece of work to have that turnaround time so quickly. But some persons are like that. Some persons compose a song in half an hour. Some persons take 2 days. And I heard an interview where Starshield said a composition could probably take him months. Why? He doesn't just look around and write a song. He gets it from the inspiration deep within. And I know how it is when you write a song, you keep changing and changing. Because you have written emails. You write an email and said, "But I know this ain't so good. Let me change it here. Let me change it there." So I know how it is. And we have Boris. Boris listens as well. And Rossi. Yes, the taxi man, Rossi, Journey, Africa. Good morning to you, Greg, as well. And Jan, the Newtown lady who's living in St. Croix, it is. Yes, I don't know if I'm missing anybody else. If I do, please forgive me. I really have to get this compilation of the names together. And if you didn't hear your name, I do apologize. It wasn't deliberate. It was inadvertent. And maybe you could send me a WhatsApp 668-2055 and say, "Hey, Biff, I listen. Thanks for the WinFM and the work we do." And you'll be amazed by the amount of people listening. I pass the street and some would say, well, I agreed with you on Cartensia and that. Cartensia does an excellent job. And beautiful topics, beautiful discussion. And then they'll weigh in. I remember this gentleman going down 4th Street. He was standing here. I think he was standing or coming up. He asked me if the gentleman shake my hand yet or I shake the gentleman. I asked him, what are you talking about? He said, well, you said you had a situation a few weeks ago where this gentleman refused to shake your hand. And it's funny because you don't know who is listening, eh? And you cannot judge the number of persons listening by the number of persons calling. And maybe there might be an industry standard for every caller. There's about 50 or 100 people listening. I don't know. But where do we start this morning? And lots of things. Well, before we go there, if you're celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday. Anniversaries, happy anniversary. If you received a promotion, anything new, exciting, a baby, a new bicycle in your job, congratulations to you. If you're going to be celebrating in the next few days, happy birthday, happy anniversary in advance. Some of you may have been promoted, but the promotion takes effect, say, for the 1st of August or 15th of August, I don't know. So congratulations to you. And if you celebrated your birthday in the past, happy belated birthday, happy belated anniversary. And if you're going through a period of bereavement, a period of mourning, on behalf of the management staff, board of directors, and sponsors of winnfm 98.9, and of course, on behalf of myself and my family, we extend the condolences to you. And speaking of that, Mr. Michael Blake, his son will be buried today at Mr. Mike, well, I think he is popularly known, a host. He has hosted Inside the News a few weeks ago here on winnfm 98.9. winnfm Inside the News heard every Saturday from 10 a.m. So I encourage you to tune in if you've never done that before. And his son will be laid to rest at just 30, 3 scores. We just don't know what is going to happen to us. So we say condolences to you, Mr. Blake, and your family, and to the late King Starshield, he and his family. And it so happens that one of his daughters, he got one of his daughters with my aunt. So condolences to my aunt, Delsa. She's from Nevis. She's living in the States. Condolences to you on the passing of your daughter. And that makes her my cousin. So condolences to you, my cousin. And we have, well, everybody who is mourning. And I'm thinking about that tragedy in Guyana. It is hurting me. It is paining me. It's really, really paining me. And I didn't have the best night last night. I didn't have the best day yesterday. I had this headache, not quite throbbing, but consistent there. And I said, okay, maybe it's gas I might have eaten late. I said, no, boy, I didn't feel gases. And when I catch myself, according to old people, that board, the Guyana situation, it has been haunting me all day yesterday, all day last night. This morning I woke up, and the mother having to choose between her baby, a 2-year-old, and her 3-year-old children. To me, that's the most tragic of the entire thing. And she having to say, well, which one I go? I'm going to go with my baby. No one should be put in those situations. No one, and I mean absolutely no one. And I really hope justice is done, because from what we're hearing, there's a high degree of negligence. And a lot of persons, it doesn't seem that one person may have been at fault when you examine the entire system. As Cartensia read, that the inspector, he came, he realized the boat was overloaded. He said, well, hey, I'm going to go and come back in half an hour. I'm not going to give you the green light to sail until you rectify that overweight. And the overweight came twofold, cargo and persons. Apparently, they were over the number of passengers they should have. And this is beyond the boat being 87 years old and all of that, and not last service in 2024. Apart from that, the administration part of it, the management part of it, that's what I'm looking at. So some may argue that inspector, he should have stayed and made sure he had oversight of the rectifying the situation. But from what we're hearing, as soon as he turned off, the boat left. Now, even the boat leaving, did he communicate to anybody that, hey, do not give permission to that boat, I forget the name, Batica, to leave, whatever the name is, forgive me if I call it wrong. They're not cleared to go unless I give the green light and I'm going to be back in half an hour. Did he communicate that to whoever was in control of the port? We don't know, I don't know. And perhaps there's a document that says it, which we'll get. And then, if he did that person monitor the situation? Because I believe when you're leaving a port, you have to say, hey, this is MV Bayfront, we're leaving, head for whatever, etc., for you to make your logs, time of departure, etc. So there's that element of it. And there is the licensing authority when last they checked, not because the boat was licensed whenever. I think they should be conducting regular checks, make sure you're in compliance with the regulations, the safety vests, flotation devices, what have you, and etc., etc. Check the record to look at the maintenance this, maintenance that, and the challenges. And of course, there's a physical condition of the boat, but so many times we forego all of that. Something has been happening 100 years and nothing happened. It doesn't mean that it won't happen the next time. And I guess we take chances. We say, okay, we are safe. It has never happened before, so it's not going to happen now. But that's a different kettle of fish. But again, condolences to all of those. And I saw a video. I am concerned because there's this gentleman who is on a boat, and he said, hey, we've been here 2 hours. We've identified 3 bodies that are floating, and there's one of the bodies. We called the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard said they're coming. The Coast Guard, according to the video, 25 minutes away from where he was, 25, but they're coming. And they've taken 2 hours to come, but they ain't come yet. They ain't reached yet. If all of that is true, something is wrong with that. And I say if all of that is true, because obviously we can't substantiate. And he said, I have 2 other boats outside by the bodies because we don't want the bodies to drift away or even sink. So they are there as a case of identifying the spot, the location, and the Coast Guard is coming. And even worse, he said one of his colleagues on a boat walking, he was arrested. What for, I don't know. But he was doing the same exercise, helping in the research, the search and rescue operation. And once they find the bodies, which I think is a good thing, they stay there close to until, and something even stranger. He said he has the necessary equipment to take the bodies on board, the gloves, body bags, etc., etc., but he's told not to touch anything. And perhaps I could understand, because the bodies are going to be evidence, I believe, in the case, the investigation of the whole scene. And maybe he might compromise something, I don't know. I didn't say this in the beginning, but there may be a political element, I don't know, because from what I understood from the gentleman, I think he is in the opposition party. And I even gather that he might have been the leader of the opposition. So obviously it could be taken as a political twist. But I don't believe when it comes to life and death and these sort of tragedies, I don't believe politics should be involved. I don't believe politics should play a part. As a matter of fact, I don't believe politics should be in anything but politics. You're running the campaigning for the country. You do it this way, I believe I could do a better job. And I don't know. I think politicians all over the world get involved in other things other than what they're supposed to. And when they do that, it creates complications, problems. And I'm thinking about, sorry to laugh. It is funny, it is ridiculously crazy and funny. A player gets a red card in a football game and the president of the country is going to call the president of FIFA and say, hey, once you get a red card in a game, you have an automatic one match suspension. It could be based on the rules and the regulations. But let's go on the assumption the World Cup it was one. I think it was one. So this player, Foudadin, for the US, a black guy, he got a red card and the president is going to call the president of FIFA. Hey, of course I'm just dramatizing. My man got a red card there and I thought that was it. He just sent off the field, but I'm told that he's going to miss the next game. So could you fix it that he doesn't miss the next game so he plays because we are playing the next game in a knockout? And lo and behold, the gentleman plays. Nobody in the football world, the football fraternity, could really interpret that, could understand what is happening. I don't know. And I think elections are next year for FIFA. And the president, he might be in some warm water. I understand he's trying to campaign on one of the countries saying, no, we're not supporting you. And we're going to have to wait and see. But let's take a break. Stick and stay, don't go away. We will be back with more Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Hey, here's your Hostels Value Mart IGA Blue Tag Specials running July 9 to July 22nd. Morning Star meatless entrees $19.99. Essential everyday fries $15.99. Minute Maid juices $9.99. Essential everyday salsa $10.99. And Sueno liquid fabric softener $18.49. Essential everyday dry dog food $84.99. And now our value deals. IGA Essential everyday mac and cheese $2.99. Essential everyday canned tuna, water and oil $3.49. General Mills cereals $17.99. M toothpaste $4.99. Rice-A-Roni $9.99. 9 Lives canned cat food $17.99. Shop smart, shop value mart.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's at Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge Bar and Restaurant opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool Runnings Bar, Old Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meal. Saturday, September 5th, Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September, link up at Short Boss at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day, Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you can get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on winnfm 98.9. It is now 19 minutes after 8. And again, I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for joining us. And we really appreciate it. And Island Tea heard Monday to Friday, through to Friday from 8 to 10. And today being Wednesday, we're going to be having Voices from 10 o'clock. That's going to be hosted by, the man Quint, the quintessential one, or Q, whatever you prefer. And we're starting off, I started on the regional scene with that vessel, but let us come home. The Carding Home. The Carding Home has been around for forever. And it went through all kind of names, some not so, how should I put it? I don't know. I guess it may have been meant on what it was meant to do initially, and maybe we didn't understand. And, one thing about petitions, whether we like it or not, what you call it, nicknames, aliases, gonna be, I don't know any petition without any nickname. Well, one, and I'm not talking about a shortened form of the name, like your name is William and they call you Will. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about nicknames like Biff. That's my nickname. It is spelled B-I-F-F, but I spell it B-I-F. I can't see the significance of a second F. That's a waste of time and energy. And there's that. But when it comes to establishments, I don't know if it's right to say a nickname, but that Carding Home, it has been given a name that I'm not going to say. But that was what we are seeing in an expanding industry now, a home for the elderly. And since that, we've had other homes for the industry like the Grange, and we say thank you to them. They sponsor on our WinFM Midday News. And thank you to all the sponsors of the programs here on WinFM 98.9. We have Rams, we have TDC, we have the lottery, we have the cable, and too numerous to mention. We say thank you. The Culturama Committee, they are now sponsoring us. We had the Music Festival sponsoring us. We have Rave, this Rave program that's up. And thank you to all the sponsors. What's the thing? The drink, the popular drink now. Take it easy. What's the name? Anyway, thank you to all the agencies for the companies themselves and through their products. But the Carding Home, they're going to be celebrating their 100th anniversary, their centenary next year. Could you believe that? And when is that date going to be? I just had it here. I know it is 2027. And, started as an infirmary in 1927. It doesn't say the month, it doesn't say the day, but 100 years is a long time. And that has served the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm not certain how many divisions we've had. I know Nevis, they have their own home, the Flamingo Home, I think it is, for the elderly. And they have served quite a lot of persons for various reasons at the Carding Home. And I had the privilege of, I play a little guitar. I believe I could sing a little. I like singing, but I really can't sing. And I had the privilege of going down there a couple of times and playing and singing with them and involving them. And they're lively. And I think over the years, there has been tremendous improvement in the quality of life for the residents there. I think residents they're called. So we must say congratulations to the Ministry of Health and the entity that deals with them. And even as Director of Culture, we had some programs there. We had luncheons there, we had performances there by the folklore, etc. Because they, at the Carding Home, they helped to shape the road, to shape the country for where we are today. So we shouldn't forget them, never forget them. Go down and even say hi, hello, pay them a visit. Give a little something to them, a little contribution if you can. And why I'm talking about that, according to an article on that, the Prime Minister, he visited them there at the Carding Home. They are doing some renovations. So SKNIS, the article, July the 21st, Prime Minister to visit Carding Home as major rehabilitation project commences. Prime Minister and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, on July 21st, 2026, toured the Cardian Home facility to witness the commencement of a transformative rehabilitation program that will reshape the century-old institution ahead of its 100th anniversary celebrations. Oh, here we are in May 2027. It doesn't give the date, the 15th of May or whenever. The rehabilitation project is being managed by the Public Works Department with labor provided by His Majesty's Prison. I guess that cuts costs, and that is in keeping with, what do you call it, when you're sentenced to hard labor at the prison. I remember those old days where you see people pulling a cart, going 6, 7, 8, 10 of them, going up the cemetery, going up wherever. They're pulling a cart and they're coming back. That is the essence of hard labor, not going to do what they're doing, but getting to where they're going and back to the prison. Now the driving comfort of a pickup or whatever, you jump on your head, but that's advancement, that's life. And it represents the latest phase of an ambitious institutional enhancement program designed to transform the Cardian Home into a modern facility that meets international standards of care. That is important because persons there, yes, some of them may not be as mobile as you and I. Some of them may be bedridden, I don't know. And it's a world by itself on its own, that institution. And I've heard some crazy stories, family members not going to visit and all of that, and I believe that's a serious problem. I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to visit your family? But anyway, and they have to have standards. And I think over the years, we have seen the improvement in the standards of the Cardian Home, visually and otherwise. Joined by senior officials from the Ministry of Health and the Cardian Home, Prime Minister Drew reaffirmed the government's commitment to creating a modern, safe, and dignified environment for the nation's senior citizens and indigent residents through sustained investment in both the facility's infrastructure and the quality of care it provides. And I quote, "This institution has served our people tremendously well over many, many, many years, and it's time that it gets an upgrade," end quote, the Prime Minister said. He continued, I quote, "We are investing significantly to ensure that the conditions are suitable for our people who come here," end of quote. Dr. Joe also expressed his appreciation to His Majesty's Prison for his partnership in executing the project and reaffirmed the government's decision to entrust the institution's long-term maintenance to the skilled workers in the prison service. And really, that prison, it's an institution, all persons with all kind of skills and talents in there, carpenters, masons. And when I was Director of Culture, we had discussions with them about having a steel band and drumming program in there. And we were this close. When we were to attend the meeting, let's say we were to attend the meeting today at 2 o'clock, we got a call and say, hey, we have to cancel that program. And that meeting would have been to dot all the I's, cross all the T's, sign, put a signature on the bottom line, so to speak. But we got a call a couple of hours before and said, why? We have to cancel that because we have had a situation here and inmates, etc. So we're canceling that. And that was the end of that. So I'm hoping at some point, who is it going to be? I think it's going to be the Department of Creative Economy now as opposed to Culture, that they continue, they start that program there because they have a lot of skills, a lot of talents. And we are remembering the prison band that comes out every December and really in the spirit of Christmas, held in the circus. The last night, which is the Thursday night, that's the biggest night because everybody comes out to hear the prison band play. Well, it's more than just hear them play. The mothers are going to come and bring their children and all of that, etc. And I don't know, but the prisoners, let's go to the caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome. You're live on winnfm 98.9's Island T.
Good morning, Biff.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Blessed in Jesus' name as always.
Wonderful.
All glory to Jesus, yes. And greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior who saves sinners from their sins and from hell by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only. in Jesus only. And we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth as a federation. Now, first of all, let me say, I would like to revisit yesterday's discussion between me, you, and Cartencia on the gun issue. Now, she had asked me, what if government allowed everybody to carry firearms and people pull up on you? They're going to increase the crime, you know. But I answered it with a study that was done just before the program ended that says there was a study, and criminologists like John Lott wrote about this study that shows that people who have weapons and others pull up on them with guns. No. Let me reword it. The study have shown that when people pull up on people with and the criminals have their guns and they pull up on others with their guns, the victims who feared best are who had the best opportunity to get out of that situation were victims who had guns on them to defend themselves against criminals who pulled up on them with guns. Mm-hmm. The victims who did not have any weapon or who had a weapon other than a gun, they feared the worst. They came out of those opportunities, out of those situations the worst. No, there are exceptions to everything, okay? There are exceptions. But that was the general rule, the norm. But of course, there were exceptions. Now, in thinking about it further, I said, wait, she made this same error that I spoke about day before yesterday. She made the same bad assumption that somehow police or the government disarming its people going to somehow disarm the criminals. Because the criminals, the gangsters, the bad men, they're going to still have the weapons. So therefore, making guns illegal still does not get rid of that evil situation where they pull up on you with guns. It's still going to happen because they are the ones who are going to still have their guns. It's just that people who don't want to go jail over the gun issue, like we, are the ones who are not going to have any weapons. So you only make it easier at least. Like I said, the study shows if you have a weapon in yourself, the stats are in your favor over against those who doesn't have anything or have a weapon other than a gun. You with the gun, the stats are in your favor of coming out of that situation better than other victims. So it ain't that or if government make arms illegal that you ain't gonna get people pull up on you with weapons. It's still going to happen because they're still gonna have their weapons. And I remember Donna Biff, if you ever heard
30
this story,
seconds,
but you remember,
please, Greg.
Yeah.
And in the 30 seconds, I need to ask you, if this is such a good system, if this is the best system, that is government saying everybody have a gun, how come that isn't the case with most of the countries in the world?
Okay, well, I'd like to come to yes, I would like to come to I'd like to answer that question. But before I say that, let me say this. Do you remember years ago, many years ago, it must have been in the 90s, maybe 80s, maybe 90s, where the account was given that in St. Thomas, either 3 or 4 fellas pull up on a Rasta man, shot him up. But before he died, he took them with him because he too had a gun?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that account that is said to have happened in St. Thomas? Well, that was a big thing.
But I look at it. A gun incident, 4 persons died.
Right.
Based on what you're saying.
Right, because the victim.
If there wasn't a gun, if there weren't guns involved, would there have been any deaths? I don't know. We won't know. But continue.
No.
But
if
again,
the victim,
Greg, we have to take a break. So can I ask you to let us go to the break because we have to honor our sponsors and perhaps call back, if that's okay with you, please.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for understanding. You're listening to winnfm 98.9. We are on Island T. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We have to take a break, pick up our sponsors, and we will be back shortly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC Home and Building Depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC Home and Building Depot.
This September, the CPL finals come to the mecca of Caribbean cricket, Kensington Oval in Barbados. Feel the energy, experience the vibes, the food, the fun, and the sun. Come for the cricket, stay for everything else. The best place to be a cricket fan is in Barbados. Plan your trip today at visitbarbados.org/CPL.
It's time for phenomenal cricket.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Welcome back to Island T here on WinFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host today. And if you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in. And I'm here by my lonesome self. As Hortensia, she is not in today to steer the ship. So I'm here voting and bobbing and seeing if I could come close to the excellent job she does. And I really believe she does an excellent job. Good morning, Hortensia. How are you? And knowing Hortensia, even though she's at work, she might be having a little radio or something choking. Well, you don't need radio now, you have your phone. And choking in the corner. As we say good morning to this caller, welcome you live on Island T.
Good morning, Biff.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Wonderful.
I would like to know if it isn't possible for a midway point between a compromise between Greg's position and what obtains now in terms of security, because in the finances, that's what it's about. This idea of everybody having guns, it just isn't going to happen. It isn't practical, and it isn't going to happen. And they should abandon that, really. Okay? We don't want to go back to the days where everybody had a gun.
The Wild Wild West.
That's uncivilized. Okay? I'm saying that a compromise could be allowing the importation and, general use, if you want to call it that, of things like mace, and maybe even shock buttons up to a particular level that can temporarily disable or something like that, as opposed to something as lethal as a gun, right? Because that, I think, can allow for security against persons. I'm thinking, for instance, of something I saw where somebody going out for a walk, and I guess some dog got away and attacked them. Okay, they can use it in those kinds of instances as well. It isn't just about criminal activity. Okay, so I'm saying that they should allow that because it is allowed in other places, and you don't hear of any serious accidents or anything like that when they are used. Right, so I think that is the way to go, more than arming the whole civilian population. That's just ridiculous, and we should sometimes challenge Greg on these things, because really, I mean, we really want to go back to that time. Makes no sense. I heard your comments about the Carden home, and it occurred to me that rather than have the refurbishment and so on done by forced labor, because that's what it is too, eh? Yes, it's legal, but it is forced labor. I don't think that's a project that really should be undertaken by that kind of labor. It should be, yes, it can include prisoners and so on, but I think it would have sounded better if it was said voluntary labor and let people, perhaps some from the schools, the college, do attachments there, an attachment there, work experience. Other people can volunteer their time and money and so on, and make it a community project as opposed to how it's being done now. Okay, I think that would aid. It could include prisoners as well. Okay, because that would also aid in the integration in society when they're working alongside, law-abiding people. They get an idea that there's a better way to do stuff rather than criminal activity, right? So make a community project out of it, and of course, under the supervision of public works and so on, right? I think that would have been a better way to go for nursing home or the infirmary or whatever you want to call it, okay? Rather than 100 years from now, we have it said that it was refurbished by prisoners. That does not sound good. It doesn't sound good for the community as a way of approaching something like this. It makes it sound as if these guys, this project was something that we had to do with this type of labor because the community didn't get involved. I just thought it might have been a better way to approach it.
Yeah, before you run, caller,
yeah,
two massive points. The first one in terms of using shock buttons, mace, pepper spray, whatever you want to call it, in defense, as a compromise, I didn't look at it that way. That's an excellent idea. I can't see the prudence in everybody having gun. And I having 15 guns or 20 guns if I want to. I can't see the prudence of that. You mentioned the practicality.
Very few people would see it.
I don't see it. Note I say I do not see it. Maybe there's some prudence.
It really is a radical proposition.
Maybe there's prudence in it, caller, but I am not seeing that prudence. I am not seeing the practicality in it. And I don't think any government anywhere in the world will ever subscribe to something like that. Yes.
But that alone should tell you something, huh?
Which is what I asked Greg. If what he's suggesting by this, what's his name? John, forgive me, let me look for the name. John Lott, the criminologist. If he's saying that if I have a gun and robbers are coming to rob me, they're going to think twice and may not come because they know I have a gun, etc. But if that system is so good.
But look at it this way, right? Sure. And that criminologist might be right in terms of the outcomes, okay? but it is too radical and unnecessary for our democracy. Because, okay, for instance, we had a problem with gang violence, for instance. Okay, the gangs usually gang members are usually persons between what you want to say, 16 and 30.
Okay, that's a good range.
Just for reference, we could have solved that problem overnight by arresting all citizens between 60 the age of 60 and 30. But would we do it? Of course not. It makes no sense.
That's a move like Herod in the Bible wanting to kill the Christ, and he said kill all the babies.
So it's an extreme solution which is not necessary. Okay. I see your point. Him bringing up that thing with that gentleman who made that observation, the gentleman might be right, but it is an extreme solution which has no place in a civilized society.
And Greg is adamant, I understand it is his view. I'm not so certain how many persons will support that view. And I subscribe to the fact it doesn't mean a minority view isn't the best way or the best view. Is wrong. I'm not saying that a minority is that. But I'm not so sure how many persons will support that position of giving everybody a gun, not only giving everybody a gun, giving everybody any amount of gun they want. So I think we could leave that and move on. In terms of the infirmary, that again, I never did look at it that way. And I think it's a mixed case because when you're sentenced to hard labor, you're sentenced to hard labor. I don't think there's the definition of hard labor, whether it involves cutting the cemetery, using your talents, the skills you have. Because whether we like it or not, it's unfortunate, a lot of these persons in 1840, good masons, good plumbers, good mechanics even. And I think they have a program. Some of them would have done O-levels, A-levels, associate degrees, and I understand some are moving on to agrees, and some are even helping persons from the public having classes in there, going in to teach them, which is a good thing.
Exactly.
They're
so
giving
what
back.
I'm saying is, since we're concerned with rehabilitation and so on, that's the best way to rehabilitate people, I would think, is to have them integrated in the wider society, not put them in some little corner somewhere or have a little project somewhere.
Well, let it do hard labor, caller. We have to take a break. Let it do hard labor. So the hard labor is to encourage them not to go back in there. So let it do hard. And I believe some of them they do enjoy it because they like getting the outing, interacting, seeing people, ANC, etc., healing up everybody. So it's an outing for them. But let it do hard labor. Let it go building for me. All right, thank you, Mr. Mark Mahon. You're listening to Island to hear winnfm 98.9. And we're going to take a break. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate, Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Luxury isn't just worn, it's won. Introducing the new Precious Gem Super Ticket from Caribbean Lottery. 4 games in 1 ticket, 62 chances to win, and the chance to multiply your prize up to 20 times. Scratch to reveal diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires, with prizes up to $200,000. This isn't just a scratch ticket, it's luxury in every scratch. Grab your Precious Gem Super Ticket today at Caribbean Lottery retailers island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Come Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
The new Vita Malt bottle is here, and it's returnable. So don't throw it away, bring it back for cash. Return your empties to your local Carib Brewery Depot and distribution trucks in St. Kitts and Nevis. Vita Malt. Enjoy it. Return it. Let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9, and we thank you for tuning in. And as a reminder, we are also streaming on YouTube and Facebook and the TV Caribbean channel 40, and so you have various options to get at us. And the call-in number is 466-0989. That's if you're in St. Kitts and in the Caribbean. If you're in the US of A, it is 718-285-6984. In the UK, you call 033-344-0065. And in Canada, you call 305-921-4619. Let us go to some persons who have been sending in messages. Of course, Cleo, good grief. Wow, ooh, that giving me goosebumps, Cleo. Ooh. And we have Def Jam, morning, great vibes, listening, Redeem Boss from Nature Isle. Good morning, Def Jam. Thank you for listening. I'm not certain where you are. If you're in St. Kitts in Africa, we had somebody messaging us from Africa. That's how wide WinFM travels. So Def Jam, thank you very much. Listening, Redeem Boss from Nature Island. Okay, that's wonderful. Nature Island is Dominica, and that's on Facebook. If you go across to YouTube, we have good morning, Mr. Mills. That is from Skeeter Mills. Good morning, Skeeter. How are you? I don't know if we're related. We'll have to link up and find out where the Mills, whether your Mills is from family or from marriage. Wherever it is a Mills, and I believe we're related. As they always say, the Warners and Hodges and Gumses and all of those, Richardsons, everybody related. And we know. Lorenzo Jackson, good morning to you, Lorenzo. We almost had a similar tragedy here in the Federation earlier in the month. And I think Lorenzo is talking about the situation with the apple cider. And thank God we didn't have that. We didn't have the numbers, but thank God not even one life was lost. And we give the Almighty thanks for that. And this one is AUJ Films 123. Arch Films, I think it is. No guns. This is a small country. Can't understand why that guy is trying to why that guy is trying to do. And well, everyone is entitled to his or her own view. We may not agree, we may not understand, but that's our God-given right. Julika Francis, good morning. Listening every morning. And Julika Francis, thank you for listening. Thank you for messaging. Good morning to you. And good morning to all the listeners and callers. And we are very much aware that a lot of persons listen, but they don't call in. But then we have persons who will send the message, which is good. And some persons who's a third option, they send me a WhatsApp, 668-2055. I don't mind if you send me a WhatsApp. We have been having some messages on it and talking about that. Let me check my WhatsApp and see if anybody is sending me anything. And we appreciate your communicating with us. You may not be in a position to use one method of communication, but you use another. And we say thank you very much for listening in the first instance. And we try to get give everybody an opportunity to share what is on his or her mind. And we ask again that to remind you that, and not that we've had situations with it, so don't get me wrong, but we ask you to be respectful. As we take this caller, good morning caller, you're live on Island T here on winnfm 98.9, welcome.
Good morning, babe, how are you?
I am blessed, highly favored, and giving thanks. Clear, what about you?
I'm good. Good morning, Queen.
Yes, he says good morning.
All righty. No. Sometimes I hate to pick up a great conversation, because then tomorrow or later you can call back in with the same thing. It's just like good grief.
Well, he believes
we are living in a time where people are so touchy, right? Everybody's temper is so short. I mean, I saw a video with I don't know if it was road rage in St. Kitts where a man pulled a machete.
Yes.
Can you imagine if the person in the car had a gun?
He with the machete had a gun.
Well, we know he had a machete.
Yeah.
But the person in the car, suppose they had a gun, and while he coming up to them in the car, he decided he used his weapon and say, well, as we would say here in America, stand your ground. You're protecting yourself.
Because he tried to open the car too, eh?
Exactly. So stand your ground. He's protecting himself. Suppose he had a weapon and use it. And if you give everybody a weapon, well, we're going to have a lot of dead people in the road. Because here go Greg give the example of somebody in St. Thomas. I don't know if the people went to whatever they went to do to the man, and they shoot him, he shoot them. You have two, 3, 4 set of family mourning in grief. So can you imagine everybody have a gun? We just have a whole lot of chaos in the street.
Well, and if I wanted to get 2 or 3 guns, I could have, because he said anybody could get any amount. That's his thinking. So imagine I going down the ground, with 2 there and 1 or 2 stuck in my waist, and another 1 string over my back.
You got 1 in your socks like the Wild West,
Yes.
1 behind your back and 1 on the hat. No, sir. Something not right. That thinking is just not right, though. We gotta bypass that. We need to deal with the issue. And what we have with this man with the 15 guns that he's sneaking to the country. We need to know from the police why isn't he being charged for violating the law?
Exactly. And that is what, Mr. Pell, in our discussion yesterday.
Whether he had ill intention or not, why isn't he being charged? Because they assume he had no criminal intention. That's their finding, as they say.
I'm troubled by that statement.
Why isn't he being charged?
I am troubled by that statement. Very troubled, Theo. That
you're not the only one troubled.
He has no criminal intent. I don't know what system, what criteria they use to determine that. I don't know what expert used to determine that. Well, could it be Cartensia because he's a Caucasian? If it were a Negroid, black man, would the same courtesies have been extended, you think?
No, it would not have. And that's the whole thing. What is the penalty for violating? What is the penalty for violating the law, breaking that law that they did on an everyday basis? What would have been that person's punishment?
About 3, 4, 5, 6 offenses. Having gun in your possession, importing guns without a license, importing guns, I don't know, with intent to sell, and that's the gun, and then you have a similar thing with the ammunition. So, and then, remember there are 2 elements. There is the police element, the law of the land, and there's the customs element. Because...
Exactly, because he broke all of them, and there is there's no penalty.
No repercussions.
He made a mistake. And nothing for it. If he was an average man, if he was a tactician who get up and decide, I'm going home and let me try and sneak something in my barrel, because even in barrel, people that try bringing things. If the customers find that in in my barrel
Dog
or
dead.
anybody else's barrel, would
Dog
they have
dead.
let it slide?
Dog dead. Dog dead, Cleo. Dog dead. You ain't gonna slide no way. Except to 1840. But, Cleo, I don't believe anyone could convince anybody that that was a mistake and it is okay, let's forgive and kiss and forgive and move on. I don't think anybody, and I'm not talking about right thinking or not right thinking, too many things against that. You're going to ship a whole 40-foot container to a country. No, forget saying it's a country. You're going to put in 15 guns and 1,500 rounds of ammunition in there. Wherever he put them in there, they're in the container. You're not going to ask a question. You're not going to inform anybody about it. You're not going to put anything on a documentation. So who are you to make you believe that it is okay, Cleo?
Exactly.
So something seriously wrong in there.
What giving that opinion that it's all right to do that?
For me to do that, yes. And if I do
and then obviously our law proved that our law only applies to certain set of people.
Cleo. I always say, Cleo, all of us as humans, we are equal, but some of us are more equal than others. And perhaps he's more equal than the local people because of the treatment. And this extremely disturbing part that he has no criminal intent. I believe it's a serious error to have mentioned that. Even if they believe that, they should not have said something like that. Because I always say, a thief is a thief until he get catch. So if a man thief 50 things and you ain't catching me, ain't a thief.
He sneaked these things in. The fact that he didn't declare them on the manifesto and whatever, he sneaked them in. He was trying a thing.
And could you imagine, let's say somebody was sloppy, or even they find out and nothing happens to him. What do you think will happen to him next time? He can bring in about 30, 40, 50, or maybe somebody else who looking might do the same thing, Cleo. So
exactly. You could also have somebody who open it, somebody who is not so law-abiding, open it, find a weapon, hide them, and keep them. And when you look, we got all kind of things shooting on the street, and we don't know why.
Indeed, Cleo, indeed. And I think the authorities have some PR work to do to make us feel safe and comfortable with our systems, things crossing our border, bringing in illegal weapons, because
they need to come tell the public why this person was not charged financially or any other way, even criminally. He should be charged criminally for breaking the law. He breaks the law. Why wasn't they charged? Well, I'm going to come off so someone else can come on.
Okay, thank you, Cleo, for calling and your input. And before we go to a break, the police, they are having a press conference sometime. I think it's tomorrow. And no doubt this is going to be foremost on it. And let me see, Thursday, July the 23rd, 2 p.m., a press conference at ZIZ Studios. So perhaps it is to address this. And of course, I don't know if they're addressing a few issues, but whatever it is, no doubt this is going to take top priority. And one of the things, I don't believe anybody expecting the police, well, I shouldn't say that. Nobody expect or want no excuse. What are you going to do? What laws he contravened? What are you going to do about it? If it was somebody else, if it was Biff, Euclio, or whoever, McMahon, what would have happened? And I don't know. I'm getting a little emotional. Forgive me about that, because that is really upsetting me. It's really upsetting me, especially the comment about no criminal intent. Let me try to take a break and let me try to cool down and set myself.
Found the sound 99.9
It's here, the all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
The stage is set. Get ready for the biggest soca showdown of the summer. Join us on Thursday, July 30th, 2026 at the Nevis Culturama Village for the National Bank Soca Monarch Finals. Feel the energy, experience the vibes, and witness electrifying performances that will have you dancing all night long. Showtime, 8 p.m. sharp, so come early and don't miss a moment of the action. The National Bank Soca Monarch Finals, one stage, pure vibes, one unforgettable night. See you there. Our heritage, proud and true, is Culturama 52.
Be the natural you with Fruta. So fresh. The juice with the great flavor. What? Nothing nice like Fruta. The best juice come from the nature. Where fun and flavor collide. Perfect thing for nice up the vibe. Live Fruta full, yeah, that's my style. With Fruta every sip, live a smile.
Live fruitful. Look for us on the shelf with our new packaging. Enjoy 100% natural juice flavor. It's so fresh.
Live fruitful with Fruta.
This September, the CPL finals come to the Mecca of Caribbean cricket, Kensington Oval in Barbados. Feel the energy, experience the vibes, the food, the fun, and the sun. Come for the cricket, stay for everything else. The best place to be a cricket fan is in Barbados. Plan your trip today at visitbarbados.org/CPL.
It's time for phenomenal cricket.
Good morning again to those of you who are just joining us here on Island T. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we do appreciate that. And by way of a reminder, you can call us at 466-0989, 466-0989, and that is our direct line. And for persons who are calling us from overseas, if you need to get on, and I should remind you that we are streaming as well on YouTube and Facebook. And for those persons who are outside the Federation, in the UK you call 033-344-0065. In the US of A, 718-285-6984. And 305-921-4619 if you're in Canada. And I do apologize, listeners and viewers, for my getting emotional, but this thing bothered me. And please, again, call. If you do call and you miss us, please call back again. We want to hear what you have to say. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island TO live on winnfm 98.9.
Yeah, Biff, good morning, man. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, man, this issue with these ammunition and guns should not go away right now. For me personally, I want to hear from the Commissioner of Police and the Prime Minister. You said that there's an event coming up where they're going to have a briefing.
Press conference tomorrow.
CIC.
Press conference tomorrow.
Man.
But, Ball,
okay.
Do you think the time is right for the Prime Minister to step in? Don't you think the police and customs need to be given a chance to do what they have to do and say what they have to do before even the permanent Secretary of National Security step in?
But here this, Biff, I'm going to tell you why I shoot them straight at the Prime Minister. It is because of that Destiny Project on Nevis.
How you work on that?
Man, Biff, this is a breach of national security.
It is. But the police, they should be first equipped to handle that ball.
But hear the joke. You see that statement what I done put out already?
Mm-hmm.
Hortensia in the studio.
Yeah.
They're already preempting the situation.
Well,
so that means
they're
go ahead.
fixing it.
Let me hear what you're saying first.
I guess, well, I don't know what they're going to do, but I am expecting tomorrow they will address that statement, that particular part about no criminal intent, because if they don't, I expect our media to ask them to clarify that, what gave them the authority, what criteria they used, and things like that. Well, even if they try to justify it, which is wrong, you can't justify bringing in that unless, like I said, illicit, illegal intent, whether to sell. Everything about it is wrong, bro. In my view.
Everything about it is wrong. Hey, Biff, I'm going to tell you, right, they have put out a statement, right, before an investigation is even done. So whatever comments they make in that release that Hortensia read is preemptive. It's just like the situation here in the United States with that young man that went missing, right? The police have come to a conclusion, even before an autopsy was done on that young man's body, that there was no foul play before an investigation was done. You can't do that.
Well, you can look at a situation on a scene and say there are no visible signs of foul play, because he could have been, somebody could be poisoned. But looking at the physical, it's one thing if you go to a scene and there's a body and the body is a shot, so you know that it's not, or you could see perhaps neck mark from a hanger or something, but
go ahead.
But you have to say visible. It's not visible, and the autopsy will confirm. But again, I don't agree in making that statement.
Okay, so hear this now, Bill. Even when you get into an accident, right? You get whiplash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody hit you from the rear. Do you know when you go to the doctor can't tell you you're not feeling pain?
Of course. Most correct.
So this is the type of stuff that I'm saying. Why they should never preemptive that. They never should they should never put out a statement like that before.
I agree.
They do the investigation. And the reason why I'm pointing to the Prime Minister, man, Biff, is very simple. The Destiny Project, right? There's some points that's coming out in terms of we're not getting the transparency bit, and that's not good. But information is coming out, and one of the points that they're saying about that Destiny Project is that the items that they're going to bring in is going to be bonded. And Biff, I want you, man, at some point, go back and listen to the Prime Minister roundtable last week, right?
Mm.
And as far as I could tell, man, the Prime Minister already knows what's right from wrong. But he just don't have the courage to say it to Mark and say it to the Federation. But he technically tried to say it at the round table. If you listen to him carefully, he pointed to the Constitution, right? And he says, look, man, Nevis can do whatever they want to do over there with that land. But no such project as the Destiny Project or any project, whether it's going to be on Sinkis or Nevis, should not violate the Constitution. And then he starts putting out all of the areas in the Constitution where he thinks should not be violated. The customs thing that we're saying, access to the land, them having their own court system and their own police, judicial, what do you call that? The law enforcement system and stuff over there, right? And when I listen closely, the Prime Minister don't want to do it. And then he made a statement that he don't want to be blamed for like a mess up. If he, you know what I'm saying? He said that is a very stark thing.
When did he make that statement, Paul? When did he make that statement?
Friday. I mean, last week at the round table.
Okay, I have to go back and check it.
I want you to go back and listen to that round table.
Mm.
It's the section where he started talking about the lands over at Nevis. And then he made that statement, and he made some following statements about the areas of the Constitution that he hoped no such zones will violate. And Biff, when you, man, we should bring the Prime Minister on, Biff.
Yeah, we are working on
We
that.
should bring him on. We should bring the Prime Minister on an island to this there.
We are working on that, Bull.
And a man, sometimes I wish I could get his number, bro. I'll call him directly and talk to him myself. If you could get his number for me, bro, that would be superb. You know, he know me. He know who I am. He made some statements about me before when I called him and said he said that gentleman in foreign, he is paying attention closely to the political affairs of St. Nevis, and he got that knowledge of the history. Me personally, man, I wish I could talk to the Prime Minister sometimes. If you could get that number for him, you tell him I want to talk to him.
I'm not so certain, Ball, with respect. I'm not so certain. I'll try. And I'll direct you. I'll direct you to government headquarters and his offices and ask to go to him there. And in terms of that, I'm not so certain I feel too comfortable with that, Ball. Apologies.
But Biff, I'm going to tell you, right? Whenever I come on here and I try to give some advice to the Prime Minister, some persons don't like it because they feel like, you know, I'm not on their party line. So those are the party line persons. But if we could make recommendations and give solutions, I don't see why the Prime Minister or anyone in the Federation should not be acceptable or happy for that. Because, you know, they always talk about that type of stuff too. But we don't have a channel to go through to make any type of recommendations or give any solutions or give any advice. I believe they should have a channel that, you know, because a lot of us that be calling on these shows, we have a lot of ideas, but we feel like they're not listening to us.
Well, between me and you, Ball, if I had to be in politics, whether I'm in opposition or in government, I'll make it my duty as part of our strategy to have persons listening to all these talk shows in the Federation. It might sound crazy, but hold on. Why? A lot of times, they are going to say things that we may not be aware of. So we could fix, we could challenge, we could check out. And sometimes they are said with good things, are said with bad intentions. Others are said with good intentions, in my view. So I would make sure, listen, so I know what is happening on the ground, what the grassroots man and woman saying that we might be missing at the level. So it won't surprise me if the government don't have persons listening to these various programs.
Yeah, they got persons listening. I believe that. You know, and guess what? Everybody around the whole world are hearing us, Biff.
Yes.
They are hearing us too. But lastly, right before somebody else start calling in, I listened to a commentary by Astafan, right? And a point that he brought out, right, is persons in the diaspora are not getting the clearance to become citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis through descent. That's something that's very disturbing. And from what I gathered from the commentary from Astafan, he might have put that out last week. He's saying that it appears that under this Juliet administration, that was done away with. And I stand corrected on that. But the fact that persons in the diaspora cannot get that citizenship in St. Kitts Nevis through descent, I don't like that at all. And also, it's coupling with the main thing that I've been pushing for also, Bill. Because persons in the diaspora also, natural born citizens, there's a legislation that's blocking them from putting their names on the ballots. And I don't agree with that either. So these reforms should come. And the Prime Minister promised to make some reforms. And Sam Candace said he has spoken to the Prime Minister several times. And I believe, man...
30 seconds more, please, Ball. We have to take a break.
10 seconds. I believe that it's time that electoral and constitutional reform should come to St. Kitts Nevis. Thanks a lot, Biff, man.
Thank you, Ball. I laugh, Ball, because we've been hearing that for 10, 15 years. Party in opposition, they say it needs electoral reform. They go in, no electoral reform. Next party in opposition go in, electoral reform. When they're in opposition, they go in. So when it happens, Ball. Let's take a break. Stick and stay, don't go away.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Join us July 23rd to August 4th
Nevis Culturama, the Caribbean's greatest summer line.
Our heritage proud and true, it's Culturama 52. Come party, come party. Our heritage proud and true, it's Culturama 52. Come join me, come join me. We got steel pan, we got masquerade, no jumbies and the street parade. Come and join us, July 23rd to August 4th. So come support, yeah. Our heritage proud and true, it's Culturama 52. Come party, come party. Our heritage proud and true, it's Culturama 52. Come join me, come join me. Come join me. Come and party.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Make today a payday with the Caribbean Lottery. Play $2 and get paid up to $2,000 every month for 5 years. That's 5 years of extra support for daily expenses. Take care of the people you love and get life moving in the right direction. Playing is easy. Pick 4 numbers and the cash ball to secure 5 years of guaranteed income. Build your financial future with Payday, the win that keeps on paying. Play now at the Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide and secure your payday. Must be 21 years or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Welcome back to Island Tea this morning. And I think they have to get a thermometer because I believe the tea is bubbling and sizzling hot. And that is what it's here for, to encourage discussions, encourage exchange of views, ideas, and opinions, some of which we're going to agree with, some of which we are not going to agree with, some which we understand, some which we don't understand. But hey, everyone has a right to express his or her view, provided you be respectful and not libelous, etc. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Yes, good morning again, Biff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, what you said just now about you've been hearing about constitutional reform forever. You laugh at it, but it's no laughing matter. Eh?
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And the reason I think this happened is because successive governments, right, from independence right up to now, the current administration, they govern in a way that they try to maintain themselves in power. In other words, they try to be politically correct rather than doing the correct thing, generally. Okay? So it becomes, although it's constitutional reform is screaming at us, they're not going to do anything to about it because it's not politically correct to do so. Right? They think they'd be at a disadvantage if they try to pursue something like constitutional reform. It's also why, for instance, the federal government is going to wait this long, over 6 months, for them to say definitively that, well, we can't agree to the Destiny project as it is. They're afraid to offend the Premier Brantley and the NIA, I guess. Okay, again, because of politics, as opposed to coming out straight out the door and saying, no, this is against the Constitution and all of that. Okay? If they had done that very early o'clock, they would at least have given the NIA, Brantley and the NIA, some time to renegotiate whatever the concerns were. But no, they dilly-dally with it. Maybe, as Ball said, they just didn't have the guts to come out and say they're against it. Okay? It's also why you'll have somebody coming in here with 15 guns, and they're handled with kid gloves. You think that, straight off, if they broke the law, that they'd be arrested. Okay, subsequently, when the investigation goes, they may drop the charges and so on. But to come so early o'clock, straight out the door, and basically prosecute the case almost, right, it doesn't look good, doesn't sound good, right? And it is what still bedevils us as a society. And past administrations are all guilty of this as well. We tend to look at people with, well, somebody introduced race, that too, race, money, power, class, those kinds of things.
Briefcase. Don't forget the briefcase.
Huh?
Don't forget the briefcase when you're coming with the briefcase.
I'm being
a little facetious here.
Yeah, but we tend to look at those and give them most favored status. And that's not right. Okay? When the people elect a government, they elect a government that is going to be fair to everybody. Not give no particular group, no campaign donors or campaign workers, or don't give any particular group any most favored status, right? I know we accept that in our politics. We have accepted that in our politics in the past. It should not be the same going forward, you know. As far as possible, everything should be on merit. Because, Biff, you stay there, you would feel that, most people would feel that if they have the power, for instance, to give the friends and the family and so on, the cronies, favors, and you have the power to do it, you're going to have it hard to resist that. And that is why they have laws and so on against those kinds of things, nepotism and cronyism and corruption and those things, right? And I'm saying, Biff, it is not about being perfect, but you have to have some kind of standards. Otherwise, you could bet your life human beings as they are going to try to abuse them. They're going to try to have loopholes and so on. And it's very obnoxious, especially, okay, if you're the recipient of a favor, you probably mightn't think so, but the ordinary citizen are not. They have to live under whatever laws and so on are there. So don't tell me, the ordinary citizen can't bring in 15 guns and nothing happens, right? They're not arrested. If they're not following the law, they're not arrested. And then, subsequently, they may be released, okay?
And you have no criminal intent.
Don't have any criminal intent or whatever. But and by the way, there should be some sanction for that, eh?
It's supposed to rule.
You can't tell me, yes, they have no criminal intent. They just make a mistake. How to put it in law? Ignorance of the law is
no excuse.
Right, exactly. So there should be some kind of sanction for that. Maybe a fine or whatever. But don't tell me, because that means anybody could do the same thing and just get away scot-free. That is not the kind of society we want.
Set a good example.
I wish they'd do that, tighten up on things like that. Okay then.
Thank you very much, caller. I couldn't agree with you more, and I am not certain who would really agree. And I am certain, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm not certain. I strongly suspect the Ministry of National Security are not too happy with that comment. I'll be very disappointed if they are happy with it, because everything is, in my view, everything is wrong about that. You're setting a bad example, bad precedents, and as we've been discussing, if it was me, what would have happened? If it was you, what would have happened? I can't see a win in any way for this. I just cannot see. Maybe there is, maybe it's above me, but I just can't see it. It can't be a mistake, you can't forget. Okay, maybe if you had one in a box and you hide in the flower home by you, so if anybody break in, they won't look in the flower, and you pack the flower. Okay, maybe, but you're going to forget to have 15 guns and 15 rounds of ammunition and no, man, please don't get me upset. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island TO Live. And forgive me, I'm laughing, but this is a serious matter. Eh? But I'm laughing not to get mad and angry about the situation. Go ahead, caller. You're live on winnfm 98.9.
Yes, Biff?
Yes, sir.
Me again. Yes. Now, what I was calling about, okay? And you said I could call in again.
Yes, sir.
No,
as many times as you want to.
Yes. Well, I won't do that. I will not do that.
Well, sorry. It wasn't meant just for you. It was meant for anybody.
I know,
we don't have a limit.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Let me say this, Biff. You see, emotion clouds logic and judgment.
Correct.
Now, I've been laying out my case. I've been naming sources that people can go and back check. But above all else, I have shown from the Bible where such is the case that I'm rooting my arguments in and from. Now, for example, with the gun issue, people call in to contradict. Okay, nothing wrong with that. The problem is that they're basing the arguments on emotions and what they think and what they see on TV and reading novels.
But Greg, hold on. Didn't you just say emotion cloud judgment?
Emotion clouds good judgment and logic.
So only good judgment you're telling me and logic?
Greg, that's what I'm basing my argument because...
Greg, allow me to stick in here if you don't mind, please. Emotions, I'm going to make decisions on emotions, whether they're clouded or not. If I'm fearful about people with gun, especially if I've had an experience with it, anytime you hear a trigger, not a trigger for a gun, but something triggers off a memory of that, I'm going to react. And forgive me for going down this path. The mother who had to choose between saving one of her children, either two-year-old, 3-year-old, or a baby. I believe, and I didn't get a chance to say it, there need to be proper, strong, supportive systems in place for not only her, but all the other families who lost persons, or even those who survived. Because that is going to torment her. Forgive me for straying, Greg, but I think it's necessary. That is going to torment her for the rest of her life. Having to choose which one of my 3 children to save. And there are things that are going to trigger off things that cause her to go back into whatever state. She might be walking and hearing about some boat in some other country having some issues, and it can bring her back to that. She might be passing the office where the boat is, I don't know. So she might hear a baby crying, or she might see a mother walking with 3 children, or 2, and she remember, why I had to make the decision there, and it's traumatic for her. So 2 things about it. I hope they have a very strong support, psychological, whatever support, for the survivors, as well as those who lost, the families of those who lost. That's the one thing. The second thing, Greg, bringing back to your point, we are going to react to emotions of our experiences. So if I had a bad experience with somebody with some gun, and I could tell you, I nearly peed up myself. I think I mentioned it. I had a gun about 6 inches from my face about 1 o'clock one morning, Greg. And it happened in Cairn. And it's only when I reached Keys and I was driving, I had to park up on the side because my knees started to shake. I get frightened. And, well, it so happened that that has not had such an impact on me. But everybody ain't like that, Greg. So emotions are going to trigger off things, and people are going to make decisions based on their emotions. So if a man...
And that is wrong.
It is wrong, Greg?
Yes, it is.
Greg, hold on. Let me see.
To make decisions.
Let me see if I don't want to misunderstand you. Are you saying it is wrong for somebody to make a decision based on their emotions?
Yes.
Okay.
It is wrong.
Okay.
You
might be right, but I have a different...
use logic.
You might be right, but I have a very different...
You use logic and good reasoning. to make a decision from, not an emotion.
But you must have emotions in there. Emotions going to start to trigger
No,
off
I'm
thoughts
not
plans.
saying we are emotionless. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you don't make decisions based on emotions. Otherwise, at best, if you make a correct decision, it will be just accidental.
Don't get me wrong,
Because
I know you don't make emotions when you're mad. You don't make decisions, especially permanent decisions when you're mad and angry. I know you need to be cool, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to be emotional and thinking about it.
No.
And they're going to govern your decisions, Greg.
Biff, I don't think you're understanding me of saying that we are without emotion. We all have emotions.
Okay.
All I am saying, I pull up my own emotions.
Okay.
But all I'm saying, you do not make decisions based on emotions. You make decisions based upon facts, logic, research, good reasoning, and that's about never on emotions.
So could I ask a question again, Greg? So do you think the young mother who had to make that decision which child to save out of her baby, her 2-year-old or her 3-year-old, and she chose to save the life of her baby, do you think in future, some point in the future, she's not going to make decisions based on the emotions from that experience?
Well, what I am saying, maybe she may not. Maybe she assessed the situation with her children. She assessed the situation, and she see that based upon the situation, she could only save one, and she chose to save the youngest. Okay, that's a decision based upon assessing the situation, not just an emotion.
But
of course, emotions will evolve.
It had to be
emotions. Hello?
Emotions had to be involved because she's not going to see these two children for the rest of her life. And as a matter of fact, Greg, she might feel that she is guilty, you know. She might feel she is responsible.
And
she
that
might
would be
take
based
blame.
upon emotion, which would be wrong.
Yeah, but
because
still,
she ought not to feel guilty.
But tell her that,
she did
Greg.
what she could did at the time.
Tell her that. Greg, you look for the mother and tell her that really, Greg. It may sound good on paper, but the reality is, Greg, it's not going to happen that way.
But I'm saying that if she feels guilty, and I had the opportunity to speak, I would say, Miss, you assess the situation, and based upon your reasoning, you save the youngest. There's nothing about that for you to feel guilty about. That is a bad emotion that you have to feel guilty. You are not to feel guilty about that.
How much good do you think that going to do, Greg?
Well, if she got on reason and that sort of stuff, she would realize that what I'm telling her is correct. She ought not to feel guilty because she could have only saved one.
Greg, me and you could talk as much as we like. She had to choose between saving one of her 3 children.
But
and
to feel guilty about that.
She made the choice. She was forced to make the choice, Greg. Ain't she fault there? Ain't she fault?
Exactly.
But as a matter of fact, Greg, some people might tell her she cause she children them because she shouldn't have get on the boat or she shouldn't have choose the boat or she shouldn't have go the time. But that's the reality, Greg. Greg, that is the reality. I understand you. That is the reality we are living in today, whether we like it or not. And she gonna always feel guilty. Greg, I don't want to.
No, hold on. Babe, the reality we are living in today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have when you make decision based on emotions, most of the time you're gonna make the wrong decision, okay? And the reality we live into is to correct.
I don't mean to run you, but
people.
30 seconds more because we need to go to a break. We missed the break, so we need to go.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying, here am I, in fact, and even showing from the Bible where I am correct, which is the most important. People who come and contradict, they are not presenting any source. They are not presenting from the Bible where I'm wrong. One person said yesterday that it is wrong to kill, but I know God said in some situation you kill, you can defend yourself and that sort of stuff. God tells David to go and kill people, his enemies and that sort of stuff. So that's what the person said was wrong. But nobody bringing no source, nothing from the Bible, anything like that, to show that I'm wrong. It's just based upon emotions that they're contradicting me with. And that's not, and you don't make decisions. It's wrong to make decisions based on emotions. Otherwise, most of the decisions is going to be wrong, most of them.
Okay, Greg, thank you. We have to leave it there and go to a break. And we thank you for tuning in to Island Tea. Stick and stay, don't go away. We have to big up our sponsors. We have to say thank you to them. And see you on the next side.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities, but there is comfort in knowing that there are possibilities. TDC Financial Services, we're here to ease your burden. Whether it's investments or loans, we're here to help you cross this hurdle and get you closer to your goal. Help to put you in control. TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate, Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Not an in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Welcome back to Island Tea here on winnfm 98.9. A little sizzling, a little bubbly, and we do have a call online. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live.
GIF.
Yes, sir.
Is it GIF or BIF?
BIF, B-I-F, BIF.
BIF. You see this thing called God?
Yes, sir.
And this book that we call the Bible?
Yes, sir.
We have to start to look at all the literature and by whom they were translated by. Now, follow me, GIF. The God of the Bible is the writers themselves. Let me repeat this, BIF. The God of the Bible that we gravitate to is the writers themselves, GIF. Because if God is a spirit, your caller before the break said God told David to go and kill his enemy. Well, if a voice come to him and tell him go and kill his enemy, will he do it? A voice, this is a voice that appeared to Abraham and told Abraham to sacrifice his son. Now, don't get me wrong. The book is symbolism. It is symbolic to our reality because our inner thought can speak to us.
Correct.
So, are we going to do when our thoughts say go and kill, we get up and go and kill because our thoughts are telling us to go and kill? But when you look at the people who claim that they were wholly inspired to translate the pyramid text gifts. Now, Again, I ask you to follow me. We are dealing with, as most of us, we have a King James Bible. Well, let us look at King James and the 300 nobles who translated the Vulgate or the Pyramid text. And God being spirit. Now, who can say that they have seen a spirit kill? So, all the acts that were done in this Bible were done by man. And the very translators, they have done all of this wickedness to our people, this. And here we are tolerating their wickedness because they put it in a book and gave us a deity they call a god. A god gift. And in that same book he said, "No, ye not that ye are gods." So we are gods and goddesses, but because of these people who know who we are, I'm talking about African civilization, because if you look at the Garden of Eden and the geographic space of where that is, it is in Africa. The 4 rivers of Eden, the Garden of Eden, symbolic to our body, our heart that have 4 valves that pumps the blood. The blood is what keeping us alive. This. Everything that is of this Bible is symbolic to the human body. And Greg is upholding what was written in a book by man. You know, Giff, I don't know. I'm going to keep at this, and I'm sure Greg is going to hold and keep at his point.
I suspect
we
so,
have
Carla,
to get out of this book.
I'm
the
not so
book
certain
was
that
written to keep.
if and how that will happen, Carla. I really am not certain. As much as you're doing an excellent job pushing your interpretation, your position, and Greg is doing that, I am not certain
and don't get
we're
me
going to
wrong. I'm not hitting on Greg, and it is not a tug of war between he and me.
No. I'm not suggesting that, Carla.
No, I just want to state that.
Okay, no, I agree with you. I'm not suggesting that. You have a point that you're very strong about. Greg has a point and a position he's very strong about, and a lot of persons may not necessarily agree, but that is life. And I commend you. I commend yourself and Greg for every opportunity you get pushing your point.
Let me say this quickly, please.
Yes, please, because we have to. I want to touch some messages on Facebook.
Bible is a book that it have politics, it have morality, it have moral, it have truth, and it have fallacies in it. It was written by those who enslaved us, and all of the ready-made answers that is in the book is to keep us passive. Now, I'm going to throw this question to
30
Greg.
seconds more, please, Carla.
Sorry?
30 seconds more, please.
This is for Greg, if he's a born-again, and to all the born-again Christians. Is any one of those Christians out there doing what Jesus said in the book? Is any one of them have ascended from their state of reality to ascend as Jesus did ascend? The book is there to keep us passive, to tolerate the injustice and the wickedness that Europeans have done to us. And we have swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. Well, get out of the book and start to look at your reality.
Okay, wrap up, please, Carla.
All right, if I'll leave it there.
Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. And I do apologize for having to do that, but we haven't touched on messages and they're piling up on us on Facebook and YouTube. Now, going back to them, and I do apologize for just doing it, how many family will be using all those guns? Is 15 people will be living in that house? Only in St. Kitts and Nevis, the world is... only in St. Kitts and Nevis, the world in having a good time laughing at... or the world is having a good time laughing at us. Real nonsense with educated people. Why you want the PM number? You're always on the radio, but especially freedom. Ball is too much, and that's just a comment on Facebook. The PM is not listening to the masses. Why you think he's going to listen to you? And these are just comments I'm reading on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. From when does the intent the law was broken? Just follow the laws. I read it again. From when does the intent the law was broken? I guess they meant the interpretation of the intent, the law. But we live in a real world, not the fantasy that Greg have in his head. Everything we do it off emotions. Whether it be good or bad, it involves our emotions. And that's a point the caller is supporting my view, whether we like it or not. And where were we? No guns, and these are on Facebook on this time. No guns. This is a small country. Can't understand what that guy is trying to do. I think I read that. And yes, we go down. Why are people so afraid of guns is the real question. Guns don't kill people. People using guns kill people. I guess we're afraid of guns because we know of the damage they could do, the extent of the injury. Only people with no self-control are afraid of guns. Huh? Sorry to laugh, but I'll read it too because they're from the same person. Why are people so afraid of guns is the real question. Only people with no self-control are afraid of guns. Unaltered, unedited, read as posted. It's just a tool. Yes. But how many people use that tool to inflict damage, etc.? But if you bring in some cannabis for personal use, they plaster your picture all over their Facebook page. Ouch. That is hurting. That is stinging. I'll read it again. But if you bring in some cannabis for personal use, they plaster your picture all over the Facebook. That's not a bad point in my view. No. Cannabis compared to 15 guns, and again, it's beyond me. People who have less melanin will always get the benefit of the doubt. Well put. Well put. People who have less melanin will always get the benefit of the doubt. I like this person and how this person puts it. Troy, do you understand how police conduct investigation? I don't think I may very well understand quite thoroughly. I mean, my ex-wife, she was a superintendent of police, and not that we spoke about everything police, but I have to say no, not fully. There's a reason why they said no criminal intent. There's a reason why they said no criminal intent. This is a comment, ladies and gentlemen. Well, but this comment is just that. I'm just reading the comment. There is a reason why they said no criminal intent. And again, it begs the question, with what authority is that being said? Who has the capacity to do that? What criteria are you basing it on? Is it a professional? And we watch those court cases on TV, and you hear about an expert giving a position, and then they're going to challenge the credibility of the expert, etc., etc. And we continue. They have gathered enough evidence to rule out a criminal conspiracy. That does not mean there won't be a follow-up or more information released to the public. I'll read that again. They have gathered enough evidence to rule out a criminal conspiracy. That does not mean there won't be a follow-up or more information released to the public. Okay, yes, because investigations are going, you make a position now, and you alter it with further investigations as time goes on. Informing the public is a different kettle of fish. Everyone think they are experts because they have an opinion so annoying. Again, these are just comments. And this one is nothing to do with skin color. They charged 2 foreigners recently with money laundering. How do you explain that? Well, I guess money laundering is different to 15 guns. 15 guns, 1,500 rounds of ammunition, and those came from Canada. Where in Canada is that person allowed to have that amount of guns and ammunition? Very good question. And I'll read that again, ladies and gentlemen. 15 guns, 1,500 rounds of ammunition. Caller, give me a sec, I'll come to you. And those came from Canada. Where in Canada is that person allowed to have that amount of guns and ammunition? Where? I guess maybe in a securities firm or something. Good question. Canada gun laws are different to the USA. I'm getting there, I'm almost ending. And where are we? So the person who claims that he made a mistake and put the guns in a shipping container, then if it's a mistake, where was going with those guns? I guess it's where was he going with those guns? Too much double standards in government and the police force. Those are comments, ladies and gentlemen. And we do thank you for the comments, ladies and gentlemen. And you may not be in a position to call in, and you write in, and that is what we want. It's now 7 minutes to. Wow. So we have to just about wrap up. We are preparing for Voices next at 10 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. And we may have to take time to take another call. If you get it in, we can't stay too long. But there are one or two stories I didn't get to touch. St. Paul's Football Club, they're off to Trinidad and Tobago to represent us here in St. Kitts and Nevis in what we call the Club Shield competition. You may be asking why St. Paul's are not Old Road. Old Road are the football champions, but St. Paul's, they are the champions from the previous year. That is how it's done. So next year, Godspear, even if St. Paul, Old Road come last, as an example, they still go off because they won it this year. So they're playing a team called Hellenites out of the United States Virgin Islands. Interesting competition. Hellenites is the team in St. Croix. They're from St. Croix with the most championships at the Virgin Islands level. And they're playing 1 o'clock today. 1 o'clock today. Could you imagine that? And some people here arguing that when we're playing 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, too much sun. And I'm remembering the late Carl Rees Leibert. He always said he believes that here in St. Kitts we should play football 12 o'clock, even 1 o'clock. Get our players accustomed to playing in sun, because there are times we're going out there to play in sun, like today. And persons may remember before we had lights, football started at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and sometimes 3 o'clock on Sundays early. But since we get lights, football now start 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, give you time to leave work, go home, bathe, refresh, come to the park to play, etc., etc. But the game is 1 o'clock today, hot sun, and these times, real hot. And as we sign the World Cup, for years, the U.S. have been pushing to play football in quarters. We're playing in half, but in quarters. And would you argue that they got it work this time? There was something introduced called a hydration break. Halfway through each half, so therefore, you divide a half in two. You have 2 halves, you get quarters. So after about 22 minutes and a half, 23 minutes, they take a hydration break for three minutes, I think it was, because of the heat up there. And it was necessary and it was needed. But guess what? I believe that will now become the norm in football. So we have that. And there's a story as well. Forgive me, finally, Jack Warner. I thought that was the end of that. Jack Warner, former vice president of FIFA, president of CFU and CONCACAF. I thought he was... The U.S. were trying to have him extradited to the U.S. for some charges they brought against him. And in cases in Trinidad and Tobago, the court, not the government, the court said no, and they aren't evidence and whatever the case. So that request was dismissed. But the now government, the now Attorney General in Trinidad and Tobago, she's now basically revisiting the case, wondering if they didn't make mistake and things like that. Strange thing is, Jack Warner, he ran as a candidate for the now government. The Prime Minister, what's her name? Kamala Bissar, he ran in her party. So now they are opening up the case. I don't know if it's because of now the relationship between Trinidad, that close relationship between Trinidad and the U.S. that has superseded that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. It was bubbling, sizzling hot. We encourage you to tune in again tomorrow morning, same time, 8 o'clock. I'll be here, Cartensia won't be here. And it was our pleasure. And you could always even send me a WhatsApp after the fact. And in leaving, always be positive in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Have a good day.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hosford's Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hosford's.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Life is filled with uncertainties and eventualities.